So here we go with our last episode to our update to Season 9, Episode 3. Now, if you haven't watched Episode 1, we actually covered all the various updates to the relics. In Episode 2, we covered all the item updates. And now today, in Episode 3, we're going to cover all the god updates and maybe anything that came out of the PTS. But before we get any further into this video, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on those notifications. We attempt to put out videos every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but sometimes we throw out videos throughout the week or stream throughout the week, so make sure you have those notifications turned on so you get notified if we do. Hey, and if you're new to our channel, don't forget we have over 400 videos just like this one, our YouTube video library. I put a link to that and a link to our streaming library in the description of any of our videos and our website, garzagaming.com. And you're tired of playing with all these crazy random people, man, come join us in our Discord. We have awesome people from all around the world playing daily in our Discord. I also put a link to that in the description, or an invite to that in the description of any of our videos and our website, garzagaming.com. And don't forget, we are now live on Twitch and Facebook Gaming under Garza Gaming channel. So here we go, episode 3 of all the updates to season 9. Without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so here we go with episode 3. In today's episode, we're going to talk about all the various god changes in season 9. So let's not waste any more time. Okay, starting with Atlas. So Atlas is going to get some general buffs, right? So they're going to increase his base movement speed by 5. They're going to increase his hit points by 20 base hit points, and then they're going to increase his hit points that he gains per level by 8. So that's pretty significant, man. That's a pretty nice addition to Atlas. So his Astrolab, they decrease the size of the passive of the meter for his UI art. Who cares? His Unburden, they're actually going to increase the base damage of his Unburden by 10, actually by 20 across the board for every level, and then increase the slow by 5% across the board for each level. So that's pretty cool. That's definitely cool. Gravity Pool, Atlas now is not back immune when firing this ability. Man, they are beefing up Atlas, ain't they? They are definitely, I guess not a lot of people are not playing them. I don't know, man. His Kinetic Charge, this ability now damages minions as he passes through them. This ability now has a base slow of 25% applied to all the guys he hits, even if he didn't cleanse any slows off his allies. Dude, that is huge. So now when you use that Kinetic Charge, you're actually going to be able to apply that slow even if there's nobody around you to cleanse. That is huge. And they decrease the stacks of slow from 3 to 2 stacks. So the max slows is still 75%, but easier to obtain. Yeah, a heck of a lot easier, right? You don't have to cleanse anybody. That is huge for Atlas. Okay, so moving on. Kamazotz. So his Devour, they decrease the self-heal from 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40 to 8, 14, 20, 26, 32. So late game, you're losing 8 heal. Not too many Kamazotz players in Arena these days, so the more that they nerf this guy, dude, the less we're going to see, right? Bat Out of Hell. So they increase the cooldown from 90 seconds to 100 seconds and decrease base damage from 100, 145, 190, 235, and 280 to 120 or 100, 140, 180, 220, and 260. So at the end, late game, you're losing 2 damage, or 20 damage, I should say, on his ult. Of course, his ult hits 3 times, so you multiply that. You know what I'm saying? That's 60 that you're losing. So that's pretty significant, actually. That's very significant. Okay, so moving on with Soul. Her Radiance. Decreased passive heat generation. Looks like by 10 across the board. It's 10% across the board. So that kind of sucks. Her Dissipate. Increased cooldown from 15 seconds to 16 seconds. And then they decreased her movement speed by, looks like, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40 to 20, 22.5. 25, 27.5, and 30. So at the end level, at maxed out, you're going to be losing a 10% movement on that ability, which really sucks. Really sucks. Losing 10% speed, that sucks, dude. Okay, Basset. So her Razor Whip. They decrease this physical power scaling from 25% to 20% per tick. So pretty much at max used to be 100%. It's going to be now 80% total power scaling, right? And then on her new ult, Huntress of Bass, they added an additional audio cue on the pre-fire of this ability to clarify. I guess give people heads up that it's getting casted, or for the individual casting to make sure that you casted it. I don't know. I don't know. And they also increased the cooldown from 90 seconds to early game 110 seconds, 105, 195 to end back at 90 seconds, where it used to be across the board before. So you'll still have that 90 seconds at max level. Okay, so Odin. So it looks like, it looks like Odin's Lunge and Raven Shout both got increased cooldown by 5 across the board. Ooh, that sucks, dude. Oh, by 1 across the board. I'm sorry. Yeah, that sucks. Late game, you're looking at 12 seconds on both. I mean, it is what it is. It's still, Odin's still pretty OP, I think. Okay, so here we go with Nike. Sentinel of Zeus decreased the shield from 30, 32.5, 35, 37.5, and 40% at late game to 25, 27.5, 30, 32.5, and 35. So they pretty much reduced the shield by 5% for Sentinel of Zeus. Geb, Stone Shield. So for Geb, what they ended up doing is actually decreasing the shield health scaling from 20 per Geb's level to 15 per Geb's level. So that decreased the max shield from 650 down to 550. So it reduced it by 100 health, which is huge, dude. That's 100 health. That's a lot. And they decreased the shield duration by 1 second across the board. So his Jeb's shield is going to last 1 second shorter, starting at the first level to the 5th level. Oh, that's craziness, dude. That is just when I started playing Geb more with his Optimus Prime build, man. I love that Optimus Prime skin. It's so awesome. It actually makes Geb funner for some reason. If that's even a word, funner. More fun. Okay, Arachne. So her web, they decreased the cooldown from 16 seconds to 14 seconds. So they reduced this by 2 seconds, which is a lot. 2 seconds is huge, dude. So that's really awesome. I actually enjoy playing Arachne too. Amaramatsu, the Heavenly Reflection. They increased the uncharged damage from this one. Looks like from 70, 100, 130, 160, and 190 to 70, 105, 140, 175, and 210. So they added 20 at the last level. And then when it's fully charged, it went from 140, 200, 260, 320, and 380 to 140. So for level 1 didn't get changed any. But then it goes into 210, 280, 350, and 420. So it got changed by 40 damage when it's fully charged, which is huge at its max level. Juggermunder. So what they ended up doing is they made Juggermunder a little bit more movement. They gave him a little bit more movement. So they increased his base movement speed from 365 to 370. 5 doesn't sound like a lot, but any increase of movement is always welcome, especially for those bigger type gods. Immovable. They decreased his self slow from 20% down to 15%, and then they decrease the damage debuff that he takes from 10% to 5%. So that's pretty cool. Venomous Haze increased the slow from 15% to 20%, and then they increased the base damage of this, which is about time they increased the base damage of this, from 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50 to 15, 25, 35, 45, and 55 a tick. So 5 across the board. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. I think that's a pretty good little balance for Juggermunder. Tyre. His Lawbringer, I believe this is his ult, increases base damage from 150, 225, 300, 375, 450 to 200, 300, 400, 500, and 600. Holy moly, dude. That's 150 more damage at max at the end level. That is huge, dude. That is huge. Wow. Baba Yaga. So Baba Yaga's brew increased damage from 85, 120, 155, 190, and 225 to 95, 130, 165, 200, and 235. So it looks like they just added 10 damage across the board for Baba Yaga's brew. Now, our Home Sweet Home, they removed the self root on fire, and then they reduced the pre-fire time from zero point 0.5 seconds or half a second to zero point 0.2 seconds, which is pretty cool, man, because that used to drive me insane. I remember clicking the button. That thing was taking forever to fire again. So that's pretty cool. Kronos, his Bramble Blast, they direct hits now apply a root and cripple instead of just a root. So that's pretty cool. Chernbog, his Heart of Cold, increased base damage on detonation from 15% to 20% of Chernbog's basic attack power. Ooh, nice. Crystallized Curses, speed up the travel time on the initial hit, and then increase range from 55 to 60. Not bad, not bad. Horus updraft. You know, I haven't played Horus yet. I need to probably play Horus. It's like every time I'm getting ready to play Horus, they come up with some ridiculously new change to Smite, and then I have to start all over with some of the other more popular gods in Arena, right? But anyway, I digress. So Horus, so updraft. So updraft damage scaling went from 60% to 75% of Horus's physical power. And then they increase his gust damage from 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 to 20, 40, 50, 60, 70. And then I don't know if they left anything out of this dot right now because this just tells me nothing. But it says like 15, 14.5, 14, 30, 13.5 in 13 seconds to 14 to 12 seconds. So I don't know, man. Is that the interval that they fire? Possibly. I don't know, dude. I'm not a Horus player. If you can understand what they mean by that, put it down in the comments down below. I'd love to hear what your interpretation is. I do probably should try playing Horus sometime soon, though. And then Fracture. Increase cleave damage from 60, 95, 120, 155, and 190 to 60, 100, 140, 180, and 220. So they gave him 30 late game. So that's pretty good. A little damage boost there. Kronos. Time Lord, they decreased the time per stack from 2 meters to 1.5 meters, and his buffed to 125 at 37.5 meters. Okay. Nox, Shadowlock. Ooh, my Nox. Shadowlock, increased minion damage from 50, 90, 130, 170, and 210 to 70, 110, 150. So pretty much 20 across the board. So this is just for when you shoot that shadow lock, how it passes through minions, it does more damage. It doesn't. This damage does not affect gods, only minions. So it is what it is. Well, it's just cool. It just helps you to clear minions without having to use your dash. A set. Funeral Rites. Increase Aurora Radius of ally buff from 40 units to 55 units. Whoa, that's huge, dude. Wing Gust, decrease mana cost of the Wing Gust, who cares? Spirit Ball, increase base damage from 70, 110, 150, 190, and 230 to 70, 115, 160, 205, and 250. So an additional 20 damage at late game, which is really, really nice. So now that we covered all the items in the new Season 9 update, let's go into what changed thanks to the PTS, right? So the first thing that changed was Chaotic Beads. Now, for all y'all that haven't seen our episode 1 of our updates to Season 9 series, episode 1 covered all the various different relics that we're going to be seeing in Season 9. Episode 2 covered all the item changes that we're going to see into Season 9. And then obviously with this video, episode 3 is all the god changes and anything that we might have missed or changed since the last two videos. So Chaotic Beads, what they ended up doing is they changed it to where now it only triggers 2 times per god. Chaotic Beads is one of those new items that when you trigger your beads, if you are hard CC, so say you walk into an Artemis trap and you hit your beads, it sends a projectile to that Artemis that laid that trap, and she'll end up taking 7% of her max health as damage, right? So I guess they saw that there are some guys that might be able to do multiple hard CCs at one time within the 2-second span that these beads are active. So now you can only hit any individual god 2 times with this effect, a total of 2 times per every time you use those beads. Not just two times for, at all. If you get hit with like 4 different gods, all 4 of those different gods can get hit 2 times per instance. So keep that in mind. Belt of the Unstable Hunger. So they decreased the duration on this one from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Scorching Blink Ruin. They decreased the dot duration from 4 seconds to 1 second and decreased it from 8 ticks to 2 ticks per application. Dude, I knew this item was going to get nerfed because it was like having an Agni attack, right? Yeah, so that's a huge nerf before it even got started. I mean, this thing got cut at the knees before it got started. I guess that the reason behind this, that they nerfed it so hard, was the simple fact that it wasn't really designed to be used as a type of offensive attack, where you would like an Agni attack. And they more or less envisioned this being used where the enemy, if they sat there, in that flame, they would do damage, not just get touched by it and get those ticks done. So they pretty much updated this. So now, if the enemy is standing in that flame, then they'll get, that tick damage. But as soon as they walk out of it, it's not going to keep ticking on them, taking more damage from them. I'll tell you what, man, originally this thing was pretty OP. And so I'm not surprised that they ended up nerfing it. If it didn't get nerfed now, it was going to end up getting nerfed down the line, I guaranteed, man. Could you imagine, everybody on your team, 5 Agni freaking, flame charges at the same time? Or 4, do let's say an Ares ult, and as soon as the Ares ult hits, 4 or 3 people do that, across that's just nasty, dude. Nasty. And I don't know if they would compound it or not, but if it would, that would have been even nastier. But it is what it is. So Ages of Judgment. So they decreased the max damage from 50% of the individual's max health to 30% max health. So this is one of those update to Ages. So what ends up happening is when you pop Ages, right, you get your shield. So all the damage that you get done with that shield, when that shield is active, actually gets stored. And then all of a sudden, as soon as the Aegis runs out, you explode almost like a Pride Wind and doing 100 damage plus. It used to be 50% of of your max health, but now it's going to be up to 30% of your max health, and it's all going to be dependent on how much damage you take in, right? So it shoots out X amount of damage only up to 30% of your max health. So man, that got nerfed almost by 50%, dude. Amulet of the Stronghold. So they decreased the protection conversion on this one from 20% to 10%. So this is the one where you converted by using this item. It converted 20% of your physical protections to magical protections too. So you got a little bit of both. Calamitous Rada to Hootie. So what they ended up doing with this one, they decreased the cooldown from that this item could go active. And without knowing what these items are, if you haven't seen our video 1, our episode 1 and episode 2, me just saying decrease cooldown from 90 to 30 seconds and increase magic scaling from 30% to 40% is not going to make a lick of sense to you, right? So I'm trying to remember exactly what these things were and to better describe them to you, to tell you the truth, because I haven't even used them. But the Calamitous Rada to Hootie, this is the new tier 4 for obviously Rada to Hootie. But the cool part about this one is that when you actually proc this, it shoots down a meteor that does damage, right? And the damage scales off. It used to be 30, but now 40% on your magic power scaling. So it hits for 40% of your magic item scaling, which is insane. But what makes this even more insane, that before that meteor could only happen once every 90 seconds. Now they reduce that to every 30 seconds, dude. I am definitely going to try to check this out with my Nox build. I think Nox, I think this might be very beneficial tonight. I'll see. But yeah, the main idea of the story here, though, is that they decreased the cooldown to 30 seconds, and they bumped up the damage scaling by 10% to 40%. Divine Ruin. Oh my goodness. I'm just looking at this. 3 of my most used items here. So what happened here? So they increased the magical penetration from 10 to 15. Wow. On all 3. So you can 5% more flat pen for Divine Ruin, Spear of the Magus, and Spear of Desolations. You're going to get an additional 15% flat pen if you use all 3 of these items. And I use all 3 of these items for almost all my mage builds pretty much. So that is huge, dude. That is gigantic. That's awesome, dude. That is freaking awesome. Blackthornes Hammer. So they increased the cost of this one from $2,250 to $2,400, and they decreased the physical power from 35 to 30, from 25 to 20 for physical protections, and magical protections 25 to 20. Now, keep in mind, these are based on the changes that we saw in episode 2 that they were initially going to do to these items. So they just kind of fine-tweaked them before they went live. And then Atlantis Bow, they increased the cost of this one from $2,350 to $2,500. Ouch. And then they decreased the physical power on it from 40 to 30. Come on, dude. It is what it is. Spiritual Armor, they increased the passive crit strike damage reduction from 55% to 45%. With the way that crit now works, I think that might even out, to tell you the truth. So it's really, you might not see too much of a change on that one. Nisa, her wind fire wheels increased the base damage per hit from 20, 35, 50, 65, and 80 to 23, 40, 47, 74, and 91. That's kind of weird how they have an odd number at the end. So they increased this by 11 at late game, which is kind of weird. Increased physical power scaling from 40% to 45% per hit. And yeah, man, that's pretty much everything for our episode 3, for all the god changes that was left, and then any changes to the PTS server. So keep in mind that all this is going to go into effect January 25th, right? So January 25th is going to be when Season 9 goes live. So you have up until then to finish out your Battle Pass, because that's when the new Battle Pass is actually going to go live as well. I myself have not finished out my Battle Pass. For y'all that haven't seen episode 1, episode 2, I'm pretty much at 95%, but I've been recovering. I got my 3rd COVID shot last Friday, and I've been bedridden ever since. It made me so sick. I was lucky to get enough energy to do episode 1 and episode 2, and then this morning episode 3. So man, it is what it is, right? But yeah. So yeah, season 9, man, I cannot believe how many changes are coming with it. This is the most changes I've seen to Smite in a very, very long time, if not ever. So this is going to be very interesting. But again, if you haven't seen our episode 1 that covers relics and our episode 2 that covers items, make sure that you do, man. Make sure that you do. And again, if you're new to our channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and then go to Twitch and Facebook Gaming under Garza Gaming channel and give us those follows. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm Dark Garza, your OG on the GC. See you next time.